Greetings, loyalists and heretics. Welcome to Iron and Ceramite, where we once again enter the warp without an astropath.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Iron and Ceramite Hobby Roundup. My name is John, and today I'm joined by Shane.
Hello.
Glenn. And Dave.
Hello.
And we are missing Tom. We'll save the embarrassment for when he comes back on the next Hobby Roundup, and he can tell you all what he's done. Yeah, we'll all laugh at him together, I think. But he's all right. So cool. So how is everyone? Good?
Yes, very good, thank you. And yourself?
Very good, very good. Wide awake. Let's go. Cool. Right, so let's jump onto it. So obviously, as always, we're going to go through all the models and bits and pieces that we've painted. If you're listening on Spotify or wherever you're listening to your podcast, obviously we do a YouTube version as well, where you can come and see what we're talking about, or you can go over to Instagram and look at the models on there. So we'll start with our competition giveaway. So we reached 1,500 followers on Instagram, and similar to when we got to 1,000, Tom kit bashed a model, and we did a little giveaway, and he kit bashed a ultramarine that was returning from the Black Watch and
Death Watch.
The Death Watch, sorry. Game of Thrones. So Phil Dot the Painter won, and here's the great effort he's done for Tom's model. What do you guys think?
I love it. It looks awesome.
Yeah, very nice.
It looks so good. I think that the little details on it, I'm really impressed with it.
I got a close up of his power fist as well. There.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I like that. No, it looks really good.
Better than what most of us do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's it. I'm dreading painting faces, and Phil's obviously pretty.
Yeah, I've been
got a pretty dab hand at it.
I've been trying really hard to paint faces recently, but that's really good effort.
Yeah. So as you can see, if you're looking at Phil Dot the Painter on Instagram, go and give him a follow, and go give him some likes, because he's done a great job with Tom's model.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm pretty sure Tom's proud of the job you've done, mate.
Drilled his barrels as well, which is always very important.
Got to drill your barrels. Cool. Yeah. So awesome. Thank you very much for sending us your pictures. Awesome job, mate.
Yeah. Nice work, Phil.
Oh, and now we're going to do what we do best and talk about ourselves. Start with you, Shane, today.
Yeah. So not as good as what we've just looked at, but my own, obviously, take. Still persisting with my own take on the Necron color scheme using. What one is it? It's one of the contrast paints. Griff Charger Grey. That's it. Griff Charger Grey. So these are the Skorpeth that I think we've all been painting from the Imperium magazine. So another set of 3, which will go and join my pre-existing 3 that I got in the Aldus box. I'm hoping that running them as a squad of 6 will actually mean they'll be able to do something in a game, because as a squad of 3, they just get shot off the board before they even get into combat. So hopefully,
I was going to ask, have they actually made it into combat yet?
The first time I ever used the Necrons, which was against my 10-year-old son, yes, they made it into combat. But ever since then, they haven't got combat once. So I'm hoping with 6 of them in a squad, maybe they'll get there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we'll see. As I said, they do a very good job of. People seem to be scared of them, so they will target them specifically until they are dead. But it would just be nice to get them in combat, because they can do stuff when they do get in, but they just never get the chance.
Who was the dude that was following him? The character the model that was with him?
The Skorpeth Lord.
Yeah, that's the thing. I had 3 of those, and that Skorpeth Lord coming at me. I was like, I just sent everything over there.
Yeah.
Horrible.
But as I said, they're very good. What's it called? The old distraction carnifex. But the trouble is that with 3 of them, they don't really absorb enough damage to keep people occupied for more than a turn. But
Yeah.
anyway, so same colour schemes. They fit right into the dynasty. Very nice and easy with contrast paints. So on it goes. Jobs are good.
Nice. They look really good.
Yeah, I like the colour scheme. I think it's good. It's like we said. I think we said it before, isn't it? It's like quite natural bone sort of looking thing.
Yeah, almost like a stone effect.
A bit stony,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Cool.
Oh, and then this is another one that I've added to the Necrons. So this is Shard of the Nightbringer. So one of the Satan. So this one is the embodiment of death, as he's called upon, and various bits and pieces. So very Grim Reaper-esque. He's got like a I don't know, like ethereal scythe in his hand, and he's very roby and wishy-washy. So it was a bit of a hard one to do, because I've seen various ones painted where they've gone quite, I said, colourful, if that may, but lighter. Whereas I went more dark, because if I'm being very honest, it's easier. So I based him black, and then used some Nagaroth Night, which is like a purple, to colour his torso and head, and then dry brushed Screamer Pink over the torso, which is what gives it a little bit of a highlight, and then used Phoenician Purple, again dry brushed into the folds on the cloak at the bottom, just to give it a slightly purple tinge, and that's pretty much it. So it's nice and easy in that regard. At least three colours, so it's classed as painted, but it does the job.
It does look really good, actually. I was going to ask how you did the abs, because you've got a cracking set of abs there.
No, it's just a bit of dry brushing with Screamer Pink, and the Screamer pink and the purple colour kind of worked really well together.
Yeah,
so,
they do.
I was quite happy with that.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I'm not looking forward to facing it, though.
Yeah. What does he do?
Well, I'm hoping that when he comes up against the Death Guard next, he's gonna cause you some problems. So he's probably a more combat focused shard, the Satan. Like all of the other shards, he can only take a maximum of 3 wounds per phase. So if you do, any more than 3 wounds on him in the shooting phase, he just doesn't take any extra wounds. So you can only do 3 wounds to him per phase. So it means he's unlikely to die in one round, which is quite nice. And he's also got, it's not a psychic power, but it goes off in the psychic phase. And it's one of the powers of the Satan. So it just gives the Necron the equivalent of some psychic actions as well. So he's quite nasty. He does a fair bit of damage and can move around quick. He's not as punchy as the Void Dragon, which is the one that's come out in the more recent miniatures, because that's the one that's in like a nice plastic mold, whereas this was another fine cast. But it wasn't a bad fine cast, to be honest. After cleaning it up, it was fairly easy to work with. Whereas the Void Dragon is one of the newer miniatures. But yeah, he kind of moves around very quickly, punches things quite hard, and has a bit of a psychic attack, and he's quite resilient. So he does chew up a few points, but I think it's kind of one of those things that I think at the moment is missing from the Necrons I've got at the moment.
How many wounds does he actually have?
Do you know what? I think he's only got 9. So it is possible to take him out in a turn.
Ooh, you need a psychic phase in there as well to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And even then, you'd have to roll well to do it. And I'm saying I think it's that, but I'm gonna check while we're talking about it, because he will
I take
be.
it that doesn't include mortal wounds, then, is that right? For the newbies like me and John, when it's 3 wounds per round, is that literally 3 and that's it? Or
yeah, that's it. 3 and that's it.
So I'm just taking notes, ready for our game.
It's the same as there's other characters as well that have it.
Gaskell has
Yeah,
that.
I was going to say Gaskell's got it.
So Gaskell has that rule as well, and that's it. You can't, if any more that go in, it just ignores them. So
Wow.
as I said, he's expensive. In fact, let me tell you exactly what it is now. So he's 370 points. Yeah, he does have 9 wounds. Yeah, but he's got 6 attacks. What is he? Strength 7. So that's what his scythe is. But if you use a different, you've got two attack profiles, and one of the attacks does double strength.
Oh wow!
So it's and if he does use that one, invulnerable saving throws cannot be made against that attack. And he has a 4+ invuln. He does explode on a 4+ as well.
I was going to say it doesn't look like a 300 point plus model, but yeah, that sounds.
He's pretty.
That's horrendous.
He's pretty tasty. Yeah, weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 2. Although I don't think he shoots. Oh no, he does. No, he doesn't. He doesn't shoot. Moves 8 inches.
Bloody hell. Oh.
Yeah. So I'm hoping he will help out.
John just panicking.
Well, all I'm going to do is send him after Felfius and give him a kicking. That's the plan anyway.
Oh. Oh no, it's all right. We'll
The
come
thing
up
is, with a strength 14 weapon,
Foxwalkers.
with a strength 14 weapon, he could take on like some proper armor as well, couldn't he?
So let's see. So before selecting targets, select one of the profiles below to make attacks with. So he can either use his Reaping Sweep, which each time an attack is made with that profile, you make 2 hit rolls instead of 1. So he would have effectively 12 attacks, but the damage is only 1 per attack. AP is -3. You writing this down, John?
I was just looking to see. I'm just looking to see like, right, what my sort of strongest unit? Like Mortarion as basic is only strength 8.
Yeah, whereas the other one, he'd only get 6 attacks, but strength would be 14, AP -4, damage D6.
Yeah, toughness 8, toughness.
And no invuln.
And you can't use an invuln against that attack.
Oh god, that's horrible.
You've got to get him in though, right? If you don't get him in,
yeah,
We've got 3 turns to do it if he's got 9 wounds.
Yeah, and he's 8 inches as well. I look forward to playing it, but I don't look forward to seeing all my characters getting wiped off the board.
I mean, we'll see. He could whiff horribly, get him in, and that's it. So
Right, you had a few whiffs there in our last game, didn't you?
Yeah. So hopefully it'll swing back.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Oh dear.
John, just run at him with Poxwalkers.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? Like, now I know. It's
Just bog him down with Poxwalkers.
Yeah, that's it.
100 Poxwalkers all heading your way.
That'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh god. Cool. And then off of the Necrons into a bit of chaos.
Yes. So this is so it's not GW. This is the Cromlech model that I got online when so I did get it off Element Games, but I was looking for recommendations of Tzeentchian Chaos Princes that would fit the model, because as we discussed a couple of pods ago, I'm not overly impressed with the GW one unless you're running it for Khorne, for example. Their bog standard one, Demon Prince, is not the best. I know there's the Nurgly one that you've got yourself now, John, but that's Forge World. So this is a Cromlech model. The base size is the same as the Chaos Prince, so I did double check that. And this was the one that was recommended by a few different people that run Tzeentch for their Chaos Princes. So I got him. It's a fairly nice model once it's all painted up. Again, because it's third party, it's kind of the same material as Finecast. It was a bit daunting to begin with because there's quite a lot of detail and quite a bit to paint. But actually it went fairly well. And this is all using, I think with the exception of his face, all using more the traditional paint as opposed to the contrast paint. So all of this was done again using Phoenician purple for his skin, as it were, even though maybe it's a bit more Slanesh in colour tone than Thousand Sun, which is why he's gone for like the yellow tabard and sort of tunic, as it were, gold shoulder pad, and then Thousand Sun blue for the staff. But again, very happy with how it all came out. As I said, I've had quite a productive month in terms of painting with stuff like this.
Yeah.
And I was quite pleased with how it came out. Tried a bit of different bits and pieces on the highlighting as well, which seemed to have worked out quite nicely. Obviously, 1 month of productivity means that next month, since I've done all these, I've barely done anything else. I've managed to base a aggressor, but that's been about it. But this, I was quite pleased with, quite happy how it's come up. Obviously, it's the only thing I've got painted for the Thousand Suns right now, but I've got the list made. I just got to get all of the units now and paint them up. But very pleased with how he's come together. And I think I'm going to try, because he's fine cast, I did get my hands on some spray varnish as well, which I think I might apply to him, because the fine cast paint does tend to come off, or it does tend to, the paint does tend to come off a bit easier on fine cast on handling than it does on plastics so far, as I've noticed. And because he took me a fair few hours to finish, I kind of just want to lock the paint on
a little bit more.
Yeah. But yeah, there he is. That's him. So that's my demon.
It looks really cool.
Yet to have a name, but we'll see if when I get to a point of having the Thousand Suns out, whether or not he earns himself a name.
So you say it was a Comlec model?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what is it advertised as?
The War Demon of Fate.
Okay.
So, no. Cool. I was going to say, because it is really
It's
pretty much spot on, exactly what you want, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. When someone recommended
it,
it, I
character.
Yeah. So it's probably a bit closer to the what's it called, the
Lord
demon.
of Change.
Yeah, the Lord of Change, as opposed to a Chaos Prince. But it will fit the bill for those that are willing to allow me to sub it in.
Nah.
Of course, none of you lot. But as I said, my 10-year-old boy, he won't know any different.
Well, to be fair, nor do we. But you've told us now.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I like his head's very bubonic plague era.
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah, it came with a choice of 2 different head sculpts, and this one was a bit more. Well, the bird is always a bit more Zinchian than the other one they had, so that's why I went with the beak.
No, I like him. He's cool.
Cool.
We need a game where your Demon Prince takes on John's Demon Prince. That would be good.
Yeah,
that's it. Could happen. Well, I mean, it's not going to happen this year because it's going to take me that long to paint in enough Thousand Suns to field him, but it could happen.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Yeah. Speaking of Demon Princes, and there's my one, all finished up.
There he is.
Yuck. So he looks really cool. He looks really good in person as well. I was surprised about how big he was.
Yeah, he's chunky boy, isn't he?
He is. He's I don't know. When I just saw the pictures, I thought, oh, he's just going to be like a little bit bigger than normal, maybe Felfier size, something like that. Yeah. But he's a bit of a chunk. So
they come on big bases, right?
Yeah, he's definitely unit wise or like sort of infantry wise. He's definitely the biggest. He's a big chunk, which is handy.
And he does work as well.
Yeah. Well, obviously, without spoiling it too much, we had a game that we got a battle report, Death Guard and Templars, and he did not suffer from new model syndrome, which was nice.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. But he was. I actually really enjoyed painting him. I did not enjoy putting him together because I didn't realise you need super glue, and he just kept falling apart. And I got quite angry with him at some point. But otherwise, yeah, it was good fun to paint. And he's a really handsome-looking fellow, and all. No, I like
Beautiful.
it.
That is the Forge World one, isn't it?
Right? Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that model.
No, it's not Forge World.
Is it not?
No,
No, I don't think so. No, I think that's the
it's just,
GW one.
it's just standard GW.
Oh,
I
okay. But
don't think I'd have got it from.
can you still get it on the website, or is it? Did you have to get it elsewhere?
Yeah, I'm sure I ordered it through the website.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Dave. I don't know where it comes. Dave got it for me for my birthday.
Oh, say no more, Dave.
It was £1 million. No, I'm sure it was going to. I don't think I got it from Forge World. No.
Yeah, no, that's a standard
Oh, okay.
GW one.
Oh.
I think the Forge World one's a bit chunkier again, and there's like a big tank type thing on his back.
Jesus.
Right.
The only thing I don't have is wings yet.
Yeah, you got to find somewhere to put tiny little wings.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously that big that scab on his back. I'm going to get some mini wings to glue on, but the only ones I've found were like metal. I didn't think they'd obviously take very well, so
That would look great. Just like a tiny little pair of fly wings.
That's what like I was saying before, the caterpillar on Bug's Life. When it,
Yeah.
tiny wings. I'm going to get something like that and just pop them on the top because it counts. Yeah. So that was that, and then I have also done these guys as well.
Nice.
Yeah, sticking to my Templar contrast theme. So these were really fiddly to put together, though.
They do feel very lightweight when you've got them together. Like when you like one, you push them too far one way, and suddenly a bit of plastic snaps, and you're like, well, that's that in the bin then.
I can't remember which one it is, but one of them, like,
well, you got to hook the head round.
Yeah, they're all together, but one of them, his torso twists. He's stable, but he moves. I'm not too sure why.
I've got the same one. I think it might be the one. I don't know. As I'm looking at it to the right, and you can it's like a wobbly Skorpeth. You just kind of knock him, and he just wobbles back and forward.
It's the guy in the middle.
Oh, is it? Okay,
The guy in the middle. He moves. He's like a wrestling figure. You can shape him to how you want him to battle.
What?
I just covered mine in so much glue that they're
not moving.
like cement now.
What paint did you use for the blades, John?
I will tell you. You can see that one in the middle there. I tried experimenting. It didn't go as cleanly as I wanted it to. It is called.
Is it the gem one?
It is Soulstone Blue.
Okay.
Yes.
And I tried to make it like the center part stand out different, but I'm not too happy with that because it I don't know, it just didn't take very well. So yeah, but otherwise I'm just going to stick to the Soulstone Blue and keep it one color because I like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
That does look really good.
Yeah, so I might just go over it a little bit and get rid of that lighter patch. But yeah, they were all right to paint actually. Fiddly to put together, but all right to paint. And then
I do like your scheme as well.
Yeah,
The black and the gold sort of go together quite well.
Yeah, I think when the blue stands out, it helps. I think, especially I don't know what you told me what it's called, the little thing that come with them.
The plasma sight.
Yeah, I like how he come out. He's probably out of the three of them, I like him the best.
He's the one that sends him into a berserk rage.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how they get on. And then the only other thing I've started is my Malignant Fire. So that's just the base. That's all I've done so far. And I've just base sprayed the rest of it, ready to paint tonight after we're done. So yeah, I look forward to getting out on the field, hindering you all.
Yeah, and that's just adds to contagion range, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does attack as well if you get too close.
Oh, of course it fucking does.
And it's not that it feels like it's going to be quite hard to kill as well. It's a good little model because it's 12 wounds. It can set up just outside of 12 inches of your deployment zone and away from your models as well. And obviously, yeah, and it starts with full contagion range. So you got to get past it if you don't kill it straight away. It does some attacks, it explodes, and then it's got the little pox furnace that comes with it that you can stick as a bit of more scenery nearby. Yeah.
Does it actually count as cover, or has it got any terrain?
Yeah. It's it does count as cover as well. The pox furnace is an obstacle. Light cover, heavy cover. It depends how you play it, really. But then, like when the main thing's destroyed, you've got to take the pox furnace off as well. I don't think it doesn't say specifically. I don't think the pox furnace counts as contagion range, but it's not clear in the Codex, because obviously the big thing has, but that just goes on as terrain.
Yeah.
How many points does it actually cost you to take?
75 is pretty cheap.
It's very cheap for what it does.
And it's 12 wounds, so it's not like easy to kill. It can attack, and it obviously adds to, it's like a bit of terrain for me as well. So it'd be nice to try it out. Hopefully it'll be painted ready for our next game, Shane.
Yeah, I really hope so as well.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I've done this month, and a bit of reading. Other than that, yeah, I'm behind in my magazine because I bought quite a bit of nerdy stuff. I've got some Death Shroud Terminators, Lord of Virulence, and a Hellbrute sat on my shelf as well as all the bloody Imperium stuff.
Yeah.
So I've got to get busy.
Starting to build a pile of shame.
Not shame. I'm proud of it. Yeah. But then on to you, David.
Yeah, so these are my Flamestorm Aggressors. I quite enjoyed doing these actually, because obviously I've already got 3 Aggressors anyway, which I've done with the bolters, the other gauntlets, and the little rocket pod. So it's quite fun doing these. I didn't spend as much time as I did with the other Aggressors. I tried to do a bit of edge highlighting, but I tried to make them a bit more grimdark as well. I've done my Aggressors, my original Aggressors were I think if they weren't the first, they were the second Primaris unit that I did. And I kept with the theme of making everything quite clean, like I did my Firstborn Marines. And then I sort of realised that I wanted it to look a bit more grubby, my whole Templar army, as if they've actually been fighting. So I've done these more in a grim, dark, grubbier theme. Basically, just smothered Agrax all over them and a bit of a dry brush. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how they come out. I think they fit in quite well with the other Aggressors, but they're not. They're just a bit grubbier. So
I really like them.
Yeah, and they did work the other day. I was quite happy with how they performed as well. I think they've got a bit of a niche role because obviously with the Flamestorm, although it's auto hits, it's not the strongest weapon. So depending on what you're going into, can sometimes it can be quite swingy. But obviously there's a couple of Templar stratagems that I used to quite good effect the other week against John. So I'll definitely bring them again. I think they're quite dependent on what army you're going up against, whether I'm going to bring these or the other Aggressors.
What's the unit size for Aggressors? Like it's 3 minimum, right?
3 minimum, and you can go up to 6, I think.
So could
6 or 5 or 6.
Could you take 3 of each in the same unit?
No, all have to be the same.
They have. Okay, so you can mix Flamestorm and the other.
No, which would be quite cool, because obviously you get that sort of, in case you want, why anyone would charge Aggressors, I don't know, but for Overwatch and stuff like that, it would be quite handy. But no, unfortunately, all the same loadout.
Because that's why I quite like the idea of the Flamestorm gauntlets, is because they are good for Overwatch. So you kind of try and, well, in my head, it's like you bundle them up the field, getting them close enough to charge, and if they take a charge, you can Overwatch them, and if you get them close enough, they're just going to run in and hit someone.
Yeah, and they are quite punchy when they get into melee as well. But they, like you said, they are very much like the Skorpeth Destroyers. They take quite a bit of fire, and usually they don't last very long from my experience. Although they're toughness 5, you think a couple of higher strength weapons or AP weapons, and they just sort of they don't last very long, unfortunately. But yeah, I like them. I like how they come out, and I do like playing the aggressors. I think they fit in quite well with the Templar style of just stick me in a big suit and send me towards the heretics. But yeah, like I say, it just depends on who I'm playing, what army I'm playing, whether these are going to make appearance or not.
Yeah, fair enough.
They were good. They were horrible to play against. So they, because what was it, like full 12 attacks or something at one point? You use that CP?
Yeah, so 18 attacks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so use a Templar stratagem called Heretic's Pyre, and it also hits. You get the maximum amount of hits of wounds. Sorry, I think. So.
Melts everybody's faces off. It was horrible.
Yeah. So it was very good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I like them.
But it's expensive for a 1,000-point game to spend 2 CP on one stratagem. But yeah,
that's
it works out all right. These are my Skorpeth Destroyers. I'm quite chuffed with these because I didn't actually put huge amounts of effort in, and I'm going to go along the same sort of theme throughout my Necrons. It's going to be a contrast paint, which is Basilicanum Grey, and then a dry brush of Necron Compound, a dry brush of Griffon Gold, and whatever, I can't remember what paint I used on the weapons. But yeah, that's just another contrast paint, and that turned out quite well as well. So I'm quite pleased with these for the amount of effort that's gone in.
Yeah, nice, mate.
That's very good.
I think that the gold makes them stand out a bit more. Originally, I just put the Necron Compound on them. And then I thought, maybe I'll stick some. I'd originally done it on the Royal Warden. So I thought, I'll make him stand out a bit. And then it turned out quite well. I was like, bollocks, I'm going to do this to all of them.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy with that. I think they look good. They're that sort of antique metal.
Yeah, no, I like it. It really, it's good pads, isn't it? It looks really good.
Yeah, I'm happy with them. Like I say, they didn't take much time, and none of my Necrons will, because they're never going to be my number one army. And I think you can sort of get away with it a bit with Necrons as well, because they're a bit like Death Guard. Like, they're supposed to look a bit beat up and not very clean, and they literally just crawled out of hibernation, didn't they? So
yeah, I thought that when I was painting mine, and I was like, I'm just slopping Black Templar contrast on it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get flack, because I've already said this with the Death Guard every episode. I say, well, it doesn't matter if it looks shit, because they're supposed to. And I was like, well, these guys are like I said, they're after the Black Templars. They're just spraying themselves loosely in a bit of Black Templar paint and going for it. I was like, I don't know. I'm not going to get away with that with my Ultramarines. It's all right, they don't give a shit.
run out of excuses.
Yeah, I'm going to have to learn how to paint. And then I love this, Dave, this model. I think it's probably one of the models you've done.
This is the one I'm most proud of all the models I've done. So this is Marshal Cancrid Amber Aldus. I've named him. It's my first model that I've named because I was so happy with him. He is obviously the Imperium magazine captain, slightly sort of changed his stance. But yeah, I think he come out quite well. I'm particularly happy with the face, because I think that's the best face I've ever done. It's still not perfect, but it's definitely a good step in the right direction. I managed to even get like 3 different colours in the hair, and obviously the effect on the blade as well. So I was going to go a bit further on and try something fancy with the cloak, the cape, but it ties in quite well with the first ever captain, which I did, was the Terminator captain, and he had the red cloak as well. So I thought maybe I'll just stick with that sort of theme and have a nice sort of callback to my first ever captain. And I was quite happy with that. I managed to get some highlighting on it and done a little bit of dry brushing on it as well to try and make it stand out a bit more. But yeah, I think this is possibly the best freehand I did on writing out Dawn on his leg as well. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with him. That mostly just contrast paint on the actual body, and then again contrast paint on the leathery bits, but the rest of it's all the standard and some highlights as well. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm very, very pleased with it.
Considering Hellbrecht's face and this guy's
Hellbrecht's looking at two enemies on either end of the battlefield. Well, he's a high marshal. He's got to
It's
keep
just how good he is.
He's just a normal marshal, so he can just look straight ahead. So yeah, I'm glad they're both facing in the right direction. It's a step in the right direction, isn't it? So
no, it's really nice mini. Very well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did. Well, looking at it now, but seeing it when you posted it as well, I really like the cloak effect. I think that's really good.
Yeah, I was quite split of it, but I managed to get good highlights of it. It took a bit of time to get it right, and I had to go over it a couple of times. But yeah, I am really, really pleased with it. Yeah,
that's good. Very nice.
Yeah. Glenn, you didn't want to send pictures of your lead Belcher weapons?
Yeah, literally the only thing I did was, I picked out a few bits of metal on. I think it was about 7 green knights, whenever I was doing an Insta Live with Dave. And I've not touched the model since. I've been looking at codexes and stuff like that. I treated myself to the Sisters of Battle Codex. Obviously, I've got a Sisters army. And I thought, they're plastic now. I don't want to redo everything, but I've come up with a solution that I have enough standard Sisters to do enough squads, and then I will just treat myself to the newer, funkier things for things like the Seraphim and characters and stuff, so they can stand out a little bit, and then the rest of the Sisters can just be the basic squads. So I might be looking at another army to not paint, but at least the Sisters are actually painted. I've got about 1,500 points of them painted, so that army's nearly finished.
You have to rebase them all though.
Why would I have to do that?
Obviously, I don't know if they're like smaller sizes or are they up to the normal. Because a lot of the old models were on the 20. Was it 25 or?
Yeah, but technically they are on the base that is supplied with the model. So
I think that's still game legal, Dave.
I'm not.
It's just, I've seen a lot of things is that you have to have like upgrade them to the bigger bases.
Yeah, I think if you're playing like league games, and it depends how, like, because a lot of people will tournament stuff like that. They'll measure base to base and look at whether the base is in contact. So if you've got it on a smaller base, someone might be like, "Oh, that's the wrong size base." But I think for our battles, it doesn't. I don't think.
I honestly don't know what size the new plastic Sisters come on. I assume they're probably on the bigger base because almost everything is. But I've got about 100 spare bases, so I can just glue them all on and I'll do the job.
Not paint them.
No. Why would I need to do that?
Well, that's it. If we lose against Glenn now, we're just like, oh, we need to check your bases. Don't think that was a fair game. Obviously, Tom did send in a bunch of pictures, but we'll save them when he comes back. So the next one we'll do will probably be a Tom Strong
special.
Yeah. Cool. So then obviously we had Warhammer Day. I didn't see the whole thing. I've only seen sort of what you guys have sent me. So we're not going to talk about everything because obviously none of us are playing Sigma and some other bits. But Shane and Glenn sent a few bits in. So let's talk about the Shadow Throne box set.
Yeah. So it's another battle box, which I'm sure the cynical amongst us will undoubtedly see sell out online very quickly before anyone gets a chance to buy it. But it still looks very cool. It's only got a couple of new miniatures in it, so most of the stuff in there is pre-existing anyway. So it's all old. When I say old, still plastic, but it's all sprues anyway. But there are a couple of new models, and you can see. I think you can see at least. No, you can see them both in there. So you've got the Gene Stealer, the Blade Champion, and the Reductus Saboteur. which are quite nice little minis. Apparently, the Blade Champion is also quite chunky in comparison to a few other custode miniatures, standard miniatures. I think the other thing that's good, or that I like about this as well, is that you get the Sisters of Silence that you can now bring with custodes as well. So you get the, what do they call it? The Talon, the something else, back together. So both the Sisters and the custodes all at once, which will probably make the custodes a little bit more flexible in terms of what they're like. Still going to be very expensive, but it's a nice. I quite like the idea of it as a box set. What I quite liked was that I wasn't expecting the Gene Stealer cult to be in there, and they're both going to get a new codex, which I think is probably more helpful for the Gene Stealer cult, because they've been suffering since the change from 8th to 9th, by all accounts. So I think that's quite nice that they're going to be able to be brought up to speed. I think some of the stuff at the custodes, obviously having the Sisters will help out as well. So I think it's quite cool that they're going to be getting their updates. I think what was also nice is the narrative side of it. And I don't know how much it's going to move the lore on, or whether it's going to feature in any of the lore at all. Is the idea that this is supposed to be taking place on Terra, and that the Shadow Throne is this Gene Stealer cult that's emerged on the Throne world. That is the, as it says, the Shadow Throne, the throne underground, the true throne. That is being crafted by this cult that the custodes have got wind of and are going to go and sort out, because they can't have that be happening on Terra. But it's quite interesting they've decided to make the call to put a proper large, or at least it seems like a proper large cult on Terra, as opposed to just these small ones that normally just get. They probably pop up here and there, but because it's Terra, you never really get any of these uprisings. So I will be interested to see how much they lean into this over the next, over this edition, to see whether they keep exploring it, whether it's one of those bits of lore that they just, they open up
mention
now
and then forget about.
Yeah, mention and forget, or whether they actually do something with it. But I got quite, excited by the idea of there being this sort of thing on the Throne world. As I said, I'm hoping they do something with it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. But other than that, cool to see them, cool models. I like the fact that more armies are going to be getting codexes, which I think is only good for this edition.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be really cool to see some new models for the Gene Stealer cults as well, like some more sort of like guardsman models, where, because obviously with the what's she called, Reductor, some Saboteur.
Yeah.
Obviously one side is quite human, the other side's obviously got a couple of Tyranid arms. So it'd be cool to see a few more models like that. I think the Gene Stealer cults are a really, really cool army, and I would like to see a lot more of them. I'm not particularly impressed with the Blade Champion. I don't think it's that cool a model. It's all right, but I wasn't blown away with it. But I actually really like the Saboteur model. I think that it looks really cool. It's quite thematic.
I like the different head options as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, the Blade Champion's cool. He just and the pose is nice, but I don't know. It's just something missing. I think something not quite.
I think it's just a very busy model. Like there's just too much going on. That's my problem I have with a lot of the Custodes stuff. Is it's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
I suppose you got to look, if you're protecting the Emperor, you need to look grand, don't you? You got to have a lot going on, a lot of pomp and
a lot of plumes, gold.
Well, he fits in with the rest of the army, I think.
Definitely.
Looking at the picture, he fits in pretty well, I think.
At one point, I was very tempted to make them my second army, because you only need about 12 models and gold, and jobs are good.
Did they talk about the Saboteur's abilities? Because I'm just looking at the picture there, and obviously he's some sort of explosive expert, but you've got that separate base just in front of the new champion with the explosives on. So is that something going to come with him? So
I
believe and blow someone up.
I believe that's going to be if you've watched any battle reports with the Gene Stealer cult, they're all about their shenanigans, their popping up, their ambushes, stuff like that. And it's just going to lean into it. So it's going to be more of that, setting bombs, setting booby traps,
All right.
having various little ploys. That one of the criticisms that they've had, obviously from the move from 8th to 9th edition, but I think has always been the case with them, is to make them effective, they're a very CP heavy army, because you have to pay to do all the little tricks and strats. And apparently the Codex is going to make it easier for players to access it by not only having access to it via CP again, but also being able to pay for it with points. So if you've got a 2,000 point army, you might only have, I don't know, I'm making this up, I'm just guessing what it could be, but 1,500 points of models and then 500 points of additional tricks that you can pay for ahead of the game. That's probably, it's not going to be that expensive, but you know what I mean? It's an example of what it could be.
Yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised with that, because obviously with the Black Templar supplement, you got something a little bit similar with the relics. So you pay 10 to 20 points for the relics that you could put on the different units. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was something they lent into a bit more.
I think all of the codexes now that are coming out, they've got the extra, you can pay for like 5 or 6 different things. Like I think the Marines one was the first one where you could go, okay, he's a chapter master, he's the chief apothecary, all that there. So it'd probably be paying points to upgrade characters to bring in these extra abilities. That's probably the way they'll do it, which is the most sensible way of doing it, rather than just paying for something completely ethereal that's not there at all.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But it'll be. I'll be interested to see how they do that. But obviously, that's, as I said, it would be nice if they can make them more effective in 9th, but without being too Codex creepy, which obviously seems to have happened. Well, up until the Black Templars, maybe Dave. Because as I said, although I've seen some battle reports, I've seen mixed stuff coming back from Black Templars into, like, that seems like that's quite a balanced codex in terms of they've not nuked it.
I've seen some weird thing. Obviously, I'm on a really good run. I've played 2 games and lost both of them with the new codex, so it's starting off really well. But
what can good players do with it?
Exactly. There's been a few people who say that they're really top heavy, but I think it's dependent on whether you're going to go relatively relaxed or whether you're going to go very sort of aimed at competition. Because I've seen people taking things like 3 Redemptor Dreadnoughts with the 5-up invuln, and then a 6-man blob of Blade Guard and a couple of 20-man Crusader squads, and that can soak up a lot of fire, and it's just ridiculous. But I can't afford 3 Redemptor Dreadnoughts, and I don't think I'd want to play like that anyway. I think that I've quite enjoyed the way I'm playing. I've learned a few different bits and bobs, so hopefully I'll get better with it. But like you say, it is a bit more balanced than other ones that just seem to be ridiculous. But
unless it's already been nerfed, apparently what you've got to, or FAQ'd, what you've got to take with you is the Templar chaplain on bike, with the Tannhauser's bones.
Yeah, no, but bones are all. I can't remember what they're called.
They reduce all damage to 1.
Yeah.
So effectively, you just can't.
It's 1s and 2s. Well, any AP -1, -2 goes down to 0.
Yeah.
So it is
ridiculous relic.
Yeah. It is Icon of Heinemann. Heinemann, not Heinemann.
Your Heinemann is showing.
So yeah, that is definitely. I mean, some of their relics are really good. Like Sigismund Seals is awesome, but it's just getting it to work. Just getting into combat rather than getting. Yeah, we won't go into how the battle, how it went, but yeah.
Cool. And then Glenn sent me through the new Dungeon Bowl.
Yes, this is one that speaks to me massively, because I've been a Blood Bowl player for years and years and dabbled with the original. Well, I don't know, pretty sure it was the original Dungeon Bowl. So for those who don't know, Blood Bowl is just hyper-violent American football set in the old world. So you've got your dwarves, you've got your lizard men, you've got your humans, all that kind of stuff. Dungeon Bowl takes it up a notch by playing it in a dungeon. So it's not one big pitch, it's loads of little corridors. The balls are hidden in chests, there's portals all over the place. It's just a proper good laugh. And you're not sort of restricted to a single race. In Dungeon Bowl, it's the different colleges of magic have their teams, and they go and select from like different races. So you get like a proper mixture of teams. So you could have, some elves, some humans, some dwarves, all on the one team. So, but it's a smaller game. But yeah, so much fun to play. I'll have to see if I can twist somebody's arm and get them interested in Blood Bowl.
Well, as I said, I used to play, I think, the second edition Blood Bowl.
That's what I started on.
Which is the one
so
that
good.
Morgan Forg on the cover of the box. Yeah. Griff Oberwald and Morgan Forg with the. So I also love Blood Bowl. I never played Dungeon Bowl, and I saw it come out and was like, okay, I'm interested, and I'm a big fan of the old world. And as soon as they started talking about the schools of magic, I was like, okay. And then they looked at the teams, and I was like, okay, this is. I haven't dipped back into Blood Bowl because I've got it on the computer and stuff like that, and that's always sated me. I'm like, I don't need to go into it. Yeah. But it does look. I'm intrigued because I always used to like what was it, Hero Quest when I was a kid, and then Warhammer Quest, and I was like, okay, a dungeon and Blood Bowl, like it seems really good.
It's a really good laugh. And the thing is as well, like, this is why I like the specialist games side of stuff from Games Workshop, because you pretty much, if you know someone who has the set to get involved, you need one box. Yeah. It's like 25 quid, 22 quid, whatever it is, to help 20 quid if you go to like some stockists to buy a team or a gang for Necromunda or, stuff like that. You just need that one box. Yeah. And everything else, as long as somebody's got a starter set, you can get involved.
Like you're going to have to invest in a starter set, and we'll get.
Well, it's almost like I have. It's almost like I have a pitch and several teams and stuff like that. So I might be tempted to see if I can get the Dungeon Bowl as well, because then at least there'll be a couple of starter teams and
I think
books and stuff like that.
It's the I can't remember what they said. It's the sneaky guys. So all the Skaven and Dark Elves and stuff like that is the one of the teams, and the other. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I can't remember which school of magic it is, but you've got obviously the Dark Elves and the Skaven, and then you've got your dwarves, ogres, and is that goblins?
Nobblers.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, smaller than goblins.
Would that be Earth magic?
I can't remember which one they said it was. But it's always colours, so that would probably be the brown college.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's purple.
It's purple because the black one is would be death.
Well, Black's death. Yeah,
you're undead, which is where I would be going for. I always used to love the undead team back in Blood Bowl. That was always a favourite.
Yeah, I think I've dabbled with nearly every team out there apart from vampires. I think it's about the only one I haven't touched. And they're not in the best place with this edition. But yeah, that's what got me most excited. Like I said, the other box was, oh, okay. Yeah. Two armies I don't really care about. Models are fantastic. Dungeon Bowl. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
I think it's all. Well, I don't know. It looks like it's all new as well, like the miniatures, but they might be available. Like these dwarves might be available for the standard dwarf team anyway. But
I think they are, because I have that Dark Elf team. I actually got it for Christmas last year.
But the Nagaroth
those models are direct from that. So I think.
Oh, okay.
The teams, where the way we'll be selling them is all of the sprues are kind of broken down into, like, you get two or three of the same sprue. So that's
Yeah.
going to be one of the sprues of the dwarf team, one of the sprues of the ogre team, a Skaven sprue, and a dark elf sprue. Because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the same Skaven, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think the good guys team, that's pretty standard, I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah,
It's nice to have a bit of old world.
yeah, proper old world, not Age of Sigmar old world.
No, that's what I mean. Proper. Was it the land that was, or whatever it was, the realm that was, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go, Dave and John.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it'd be cool to try something new, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I'd definitely be up for that. I think an evening of that.
Sorry?
An evening of that and a couple of beers sounds like a good laugh.
Yeah.
Blood Bowl is a great beer drinking game.
Yeah. You say that though, Dave, when you're getting thumped 5-0 by these Skaven and elves that you can't pin down and thump, you won't be feeling quite as happy.
We know that you love to lose, Dave.
Yeah, I'm used to it, so
Cool. The only thing I added on additionally was the new Primarch that they released for the Khan. What do you guys think about how they've done him? I know he's 30k.
I think that it's a really cool looking model, and it fits in well with all the other ones. But his head looks a bit small for me. I don't know what it is. It just sort of
very specific criticism.
Yeah, it's just, and you know when it sort of takes you out of the immersion, and it reminds me of that thing out of Beetlejuice.
I was going to say,
it's got the exact same hair as well.
Beetlejuice was on the other
shrunken
night.
head. So yeah, it's quite good, but it's got a Beetlejuice head.
I'm not a fan of the base. Not a fan of that dead soldier on the base.
I think it's nice to have, for those that collect them, a complete set of Primarchs for the Horus Heresy. If you were a collector and you had the time and patience and money, that I could see someone getting right into that and wanting one of each of the Primarchs and having them all painted up and on a nice display cabinet and so on and so forth. I mean, objectively, is he the best of them? Probably. I don't think he is. I think there are better Primarch models that are out there in the range. It's nice for it to be complete, I guess. I don't know what options, because some of them have different options for the head. So there may be an option where he hasn't
got his pee head out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and that might be more to your liking, Dave. But yeah, he's okay. It's all right.
He's not wearing a helmet, so you don't want a big head, do you? Because it's a bigger target. So you duck.
I don't think any of the Primarchs are wearing helmets in the models, are they?
They're not. They're not in the sculpts and the way they display them. But I think you can.
Yeah, I think Lionel Johnson definitely has a.
You can have them with
his one.
You can swap them out to have a helmet if you want.
Yeah, but that sort of takes away a little bit of the character of each of the models. I didn't actually realize that this was the last one.
I think it is. Yeah.
I've clearly missed a few, but yeah, it was sort of like, oh, the last one has been revealed. Oh shit! I thought they were only on about 15.
Yeah. No, that's it. Jagatai Khan, the last one.
I think he's probably one of my favorite, to be honest. I do really like that model.
I like his armor.
Like there's some of them are meh.
Yeah.
He's looking quite good.
I think as models, I suppose one of the reasons why I like them, I don't think I would ever buy. I look at that and I go, Jesus Christ, that's intimidating.
There's no way you could ever do that justice.
Yeah. I'd get them and be like, what am I going to do with these?
Yeah, that's the sort of thing that if I had a load of money, perhaps I'd ask, like, get a good commission painter to do it. But I'd never ever attempt any of these ever.
Some people were saying that they were disappointed he didn't have his bike, but I think that would just be too big.
I think it's because I heard that as well. But they were talking about on the stream itself. They were talking about, I think, one of the latest books, Warhawk, or a couple of the Warhawks, and they were saying that common misconception. He does have a bike, but especially during the heresy books and stuff, He's not always on it. Like, it's not necessarily always with him. So it was like, I think I don't know whether because they were the official GW guys, I don't know whether they were being a bit more apologetic towards it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I mean, it depends on what part of the heresy the model's actually from as well.
Yeah.
Because like, if they want to get really pissy, why is he not riding on top of a Land Raider out
Yeah.
of the gates of Terra? Because he's done that as well.
And you'd think, because what I was trying to think at what point the White Scars engaged the Death Guard, and I think that was on Terra. Like, I don't think that was before then. Like, I don't think they engaged before then. So, yeah, in theory, that's it. Where's the big old Land Raider behind it?
Yeah.
It's just off to the right. You can't just.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Maybe it's like the Lionel Johnson base where you just you can put him on, and then there's like a massive scene diorama underneath.
Yeah.
But a tiny little base on top. So perhaps we'll get that.
A lot of them do have the little sort of lift out bit so you can actually use them in game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thought of using models like that though in game is just.
You wouldn't paint it anyway, so it's going to be no difference for you.
Just cut the picture off the box and prop it up like a McDonald's thing. Just push it around like that.
What do I need to cut the picture off? I just put the box down.
Put the whole box down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've learned you don't care about face sizes, do you? So you just have the box.
Yeah. Oh no, I might get like an actual base, so they just blue tack the box onto the base. That'll do.
Cool. Right. Anything else for this week, guys?
No, I don't think so.
Cool. So we're just obviously check us out on Instagram if you want to see more pictures of what we've been up to and probably some more angles and stuff like that. Come join us on Facebook and talk to us on there, or Twitter. If you're watching us on YouTube, we've got a lot going on. Obviously, our podcast, the hobby podcast we've just done. Next week, we're our general Warhammery chat. We've got Librarius Omnis, where me and Shane are currently tearing through the Horus Heresy, and we're partway through Mechanicum now, so that's good. Our first battle report went up the other week, so go check that out if you haven't and see how the Necrons and the Death Guard got on, and then look forward to the next one where you'll see how the Templars did against the Death Guard.
I think we've already spoiled that.
Watch it anyway.
Yeah, it was a close game with some twists and turns, so it's definitely worth watching it.
Learn from us. Learn how not to do it. Yeah, and all the other bits and pieces. Obviously, we do reviews of all the animations and stuff that are coming out from Warhammer Plus and bits and pieces. YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Twitch as and when we can get on there. And then if you want to support us, please check us out on Patreon, or if you want to buy your hobby stuff at your discount, use our link for Element Games. And at no extra cost to you, we'll get a bit of a kickback as a thank you for sending you, and any money we do get will go towards making the channel better. Especially I think the first aim will be to make the battle reports more exciting if we can get there. But yeah, let us know what you think as well, because I think so far we're quite happy with how they're coming out, but we're always looking to improve. So unless anyone's got anything else to add, that will be Exterminatus.
As always, we would like to thank you for listening to our Iron and Ceramite podcast. If you liked us, then you can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and any other good podcast services. Just remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.
We are now.
I was thinking, like, Tom's not here, so we probably won't have to edit so much because I won't have to cut so many inappropriate comments out. But then I remember Glenn was here.
Yeah, I'm usually good for an inappropriate one or two.
So there will be plenty of cuts. Cool.